Mhuri Zimbabwe pane imwe information inokatyamadza iri kuramba ichitenderera mastreets esocial media apo patiri kuona kuti munhu ari pafrandi yenyaya iyoyo mukadzi wageneral Mhonda vamajor general izvozvizvi vaMhonda vanonzi Fidelis Mhonda. Right, tiri kunzwa kunzi pazvese zvakanga zvichiitika vakanga vachisapota Tagwirei kuita zvinhu zviri unlawful unconstitutional. Ndofunga mutemo weZimbabwe unotaura kuti army ine vanhu vainochengeta presidium, but tiri kuona kuti unconstitutional protection of kuda kwacho Tagwirei zvinhu zviri kutibata mwoyo isusu semedia pamwe chete tiri kumirira kudivire vanhu zvechokwadi zvisina kugananda mukati. Saka tiri kuona kuti vari kushandisa presidential guard nemaarmed vehicle kuti vange vachichengeta Tagwirei pamwe chete nekutomuoffer security kumba kwake, izvo zvinova zviri zvinhu zvakutoratidza kuti Tagwirei is more powerful than army munyika yeZimbabwe. Saka tiri papo mhuri Zimbabwe toda kuti tikupei current information about nyaya yatapinza yemukadzi waFidelis Mhonda uyu anova ari major general kupresidential guard. Zviri kunzi Brigadier General Major General Mhonda was behind kuda kwashe Tagwirei's campaign and masvingo addresses of young women for ED. His wife was the chief coordinator of kuda kwashe Tagwirei masvingo event styled land tenure implementation initiative. Ndofunga makapaona ipapapo pakaitwa zvemaland tenure time iyeye. So nyaya dzakuzobuda izvozvi ndokuti hamuna kuziva kuti chii chaitika. Mukadzi waGeneral Mhonda zviri kunzi akanga aripo panyaya iyoyo. Saka zvimwe zvezvinhu muri Zimbabwe zviri kuitika. Zviri kunzi izvoni pane last time pari kunzi vakazongoona ofisi yavo yabiwa zvinhu, havana kuziva kuti zvakaenda kupi kana ndiani akaba kana kuti chii chakatika, havana chavakaona. So vari kutaura panapa vari kuti Major General Mhonda office inside of the KG6 barracks nearly the army headquarters, and you pass through several boom gates to get to it. How did this happen? So inyaya iri kutaurwa sekuti zvinhu zvake zvakatoplanwa kuda kukanganisa ruzhinji rwenyika yeZimbabwe kuti tifokase nezvimwe zvinhu pakunzi muofisi yavo yakabiwa. Naizvozvo muri Zimbabwe ndo nyaya iripo. Tataura nenyaya kuti muzive kuti mukadzi waGeneral Mhonda arimo munyaya dzematongerwo enyika umo. Zviri kunzi ndiye ari kucheya nyaya yeyoung women for ED. Ndo mamiriro azvakaita muri Zimbabwe zvinokumira zvakanaka. Ndo vakomana vari kumhanya maparallel structures varada kudestroya army yedu iyo yatakafoma tichiti tafoma imwe army yakanga yakabatana, but tiri kuona kuti vanhu ivava vada todestroya future yedu isusu new generation. Tiri kutenda chose nekuteerera kwenyu. Tichakusiyai makateerera kubva kumakomberedzi edu pano pachivhitivhiti chenyu.
Is more important than blaming each other, because tomorrow life will go on. We'll have another tragedy, maybe by road. Just like what's happening in Zim or in South Africa where there are good roads, people are also dying of accidents. What are we doing to respond? I believe and I expect the government to do better. I thank you, Angojed.
Right, okay. Thank you very much. The guy from Mberi, I want to bring in a female voice into this conversation. Ru, do you want to come through?
Hello, Jed. Hi, Titus, and everyone. You know what? When I saw this, I was quite avoidant to watch the videos, to look at what has happened, mainly because it is extremely heartbreaking. It is extremely traumatizing. And I think this really brings into perspective that everything we're going through as Zimbabweans is life or death. You're just living your life, going about your life, and you never know at what point your life is at risk. And when I'm listening to everyone, and everyone's points are very valid, but I can't help but have one thought in mind. And to convey that thought, I've got a question for you, Uncle Jedna Titus. What are the definitions, or what do you understand about an abusive relationship? Uncle Jaden Titus.
Yes, Ru.
What do you understand about an abusive relationship?
Abusive relationship.
Yes.
Uh, it sounds self-explanatory. Uh, so you want like a definition of it?
Yeah, just maybe from your thoughts around it and what you understand about it from what you've seen and heard.
I think it's mainly it's. I would say when someone is using a little bit of power control, you know, just to take advantage or to, to try and cause harm to somebody else. It can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be different. It can be verbal insults. It's just different, but basically, it's when somebody's having an upper hand using all these different ways, tactics, coercion.
And what does it take for the abused to leave? And why is it hard sometimes for people to know they're in an abusive relationship but not be able to leave that relationship?
Because sometimes they get used to it. They get used to it. Yeah, they tolerate it. They keep on going with the same, accepting, the same abuse. And then by the time that they realize, they are so much into it, and I think what it takes is to leave, to separate the two people.
And because of the nature of how abuse is, majority of people don't leave that relationship, mainly because it is easier to just keep going with your abuse than to take the radical action that it requires, because you know that your abuser is going to retaliate.
Correct.
And many of you have seen this happening to me over the last week, but I won't get into that. Why do I bring this up? Because us as a Zimbabwean people, we can bring up all the technicalities and so forth, but truth be told is we are in an abusive relationship. We are being abused left, right, center. What is it going to take for us as Zimbabwean people to leave our abusive relationship? What is it going to take? Now, I genuinely don't have the answer to this, but this is what I see. And we saw this depicted in the relationship of the mother and like that was, can you imagine, guys? We've been going through so much trauma these last few weeks. A mother and her children killed by the husband. How many of us have to die with this abuser? What is it going to take for us to leave? Can we just have a moment to reflect to say, have we got so comfortable with the abuse we are experiencing that it is easier to continue being abused than to do what is necessary for us to leave? I just want to give people food for thought. This has been really hard to swallow. Not just this situation, there's many others. Many others. And so, what is it going to take? How many of us have to die for us to leave our abusive situation?
All right. Thank you very much, for that. I do appreciate. Mdara G, do you want to come through?
Oh, thank you very much, Uncle Jeda. And my heart goes to families of those that lost their loved ones in this tragedy. I was born in Kariba, bred in Kariba, and I still have so much connections in Kariba. I understand the lake, I know the lake, I know DDF, and I know the government. There is no apportionment of blame in this tragedy. If you know what we have gone through over years, government has totally neglected some parts of the country or most parts of the country. That is a fact. Kariba is the worst neglected area by government. If you see Mvenge Mvenge Mvenga Mpopoto ne Mirizhonga iri kuitika Mulek, you'd wonder what is going on. Harbors have been destroyed. They don't consider health and safety anymore. I've seen people, you guys, reading the 4 pillars of Maritime, and the most important one being safety of people, safety of ships, and safety of the environment. It doesn't apply in Zimbabwe. It does not apply in Zimbabwe. There used to be sea lion and seahorse before this now, and I think they then changed it to be that. And that has been the source of transport between the other side and the other side. Bumi Hills, Msambakaruma, etc., etc. There has not been, you see, the Minister of Transport should be speaking. The Minister of Transport should be resigning. The Minister of Transport should be doing something, but it doesn't. Because it's the Met station and river management or lake management. Before there used to be other organizations that were competent, then we used to have observation points, heights, which looked at what was going on. And you could see at night some patrol boats, patrol by parks and patrol by police. Today you don't see none. Today you do not see none. Incidences of overloaded vessels have been complained about by people, but to the extent no one cares and government thinks it's normal. And Nick Mangwana, I don't want to use bad words on that guy, but I just wish God saves him one day. Kuti after this tragedy, then goes on to say kuti reduce price, fair price. Yeah, look at how cheap government considers our life. It's happening across the country, especially during rain season. But look, yesterday, I know there have been a few rains that were experienced in Zimbabwe. That could not have triggered a wave of magnitude of that nature a wave isingakwanisike kuonekwa. It's impossible. The Met station should have seen, because kune government they charge imari yavanga vakangotarisa vainayo. That boat was supposed to be carrying 90 people, but it had 153 people. Statistics, ziri kuburitswa. These are lies. These are lies. We have. My old man has got a shop pa Nyamunga and Panyamunga Secondary School, Panyamunga Township and Nyamunga Secondary School. These figures they are bringing up are lies. According to the counter, people vanga vachitora tickets but vachipinda pakapinda 153. And then Nick Mangwana, oh, and 17, 27 missing. What nonsense is that? Sub Aqua Irkup. We used to know kuti Sabakwa, deploy immediately after an incident like this happens, because there would be some people patrolling the lake. Nobody. Where's Kanakwine wave? Tai's wave rains gachikache. You could actually all be alert or fishing air restrictwa. Kudara, when we used to use drag nets, my fishing I stop Kanakwine wave. No vessel would move or would take place. That's where safety comes into place and training. That's the last one, the fourth pillar of the fourth pillar in maritime safety. Are our people trained? No. If you are trained, you cannot drive a vessel like that. Never. And if you are trained, you would also have kuti usumuke uchiona prediction ye wave. Hakuna chinaitika mu lake chisingakwanisike kuoneka.